Hi everybody, Laura Claycomb here. I just wanted to give you a few more tips on onsets, or attacks as I call them, of things, and a few exercises in order to help with that. I worked hard with my teacher, my very first teacher that I studied with through high school and through college, Barbara Hill Moore. And she really went to town on attacks, and so she never let me make an ugly attack, either a too airy or a too grabbed attack, so that I could just pick a note and have the coordination going right at the beginning. And so number one is to attune your ear to having a clean attack. And the second thing, of course, is to be able to actually do it. So those two things together are very important, I think, in singing technique. So how to start by making a clean attack? I always talk about taking the H out of the sound, all of that kind of radio noise out of your sound. But how do you do that? And how do you work towards doing that without squashing your voice or compressing too much in your throat as a result? So my favorite tool these days is a straw, just a plain old straw. I use one that has a little end to it that turns around, because as you're singing and things like that, you're going to get a lot of condensation in here. It's not necessarily spit, it's actually condensation, but it will end up drooling out at the other end eventually if you're holding it down. So I tend to kind of do the end up, just a little tip. And the straw is actually a really wonderful tool for you, for your breathing, for all kinds of exercises, for you to elongate the tube of your sound. And that helps you concentrate on smaller things, and there are also acoustic things that help. But just for now, we will talk about the attack or the onset of things. And I want you to feel the air coming out of the other side of your straw, so that you want the air flow. Of course, the breath and your support is always the basis of whatever you're going to do. So that having the breath flow be even at all times is the most important part of these exercises. And so we start by blowing just a little bit of air, not blowing, but just releasing some air so that there's a flow going before you actually start the sound, and then to feel your vocal cords coming together on top of that sound. So we want to feel that it's equal, equal, equal. So don't feel like you have to be blowing a lot of air through this straw. Phonating in singing doesn't require a lot of air. It just requires the concentration of the air. So you start the sound, you start the airflow. So I want you to start at mezzo piano so that you can feel your vocal cords come together very softly, not grabbing them and not blowing air, so you don't, or you need to start in the very center of the tone. If you feel like you're running out of breath, then stop. I don't want you to don't go past your skill set. Do exactly what you can do within your abilities at this point. So we go and fade away as far as you can without taxing yourself or feeling that your throat's closing or that you're doing anything up here. What you want to do is take this on, do every note all the way up as high as you can, still feeling that your throat is relaxed. And note how much air you're giving through before you start, as you start, towards the beginning, as it goes. And then eventually, as soon as you get up to as high as you can go without feeling any kind of tension, then you come back down and then start a minor third. Blowing through a little bit. up that you may be giving a little bit more air. You don't need that much more air to go up. As you get up into your passaggio, wherever that may be, and above your passaggio, as you're going way up high, you may need to give just a little bit more air as you're going up there so that you don't get pressure in your throat. Each circle, you want to take a breath beforehand and have each one be just one breath so that you're actually concentrating on the attack or the onset of the sound. And I will give you some exercises tomorrow on actually starting a sound without the straw for onsets, and we'll talk about that, about taking the H out of the sound, especially after certain consonants like H, K, P, Q, S, T, that we tend to put a afterwards. So you'll say ha, that you put the H into the actual vowel that comes after this consonant, which we don't need to do. It should just be a pure vowel of, instead of heart, it's heart, so that it's ah that comes after the H. And I'm working on a thing called parche tardo oltre costume. So we don't want parche tardo oltre costume. We don't want all of these explosive consonants to bleed their H sound or their explosive sound or all this air sound into the vowel that comes after it. So we will work on that tomorrow, but I think it's very important for you to feel the vowel and the compression of that vowel as you get into it without the consonant, and then put the consonant on there so that you're careful that you are not coloring the vowel with what comes right before it.